Chapter 20. Bridge over Troubled Water. As the bus journeyed from Monticello towards New York, a heavy silence enveloped our group, each of us lost in our own thoughts and reflections. The tension of our escape from the Adler Hotel and the subsequent flight through the early morning had left a palpable sense of weariness in its wake. Yet, as the iconic skyline of New York began to emerge, cutting a striking silhouette against the morning sky, a collective sense of anticipation stirred within us. As New York approached, Jasper, who had been a guiding spirit through our odyssey, began to share his reflections. It felt both a closing chapter for him and an opening to an undefined new beginning. New York. This is where my journey ends, or perhaps begins anew, he mused aloud, his voice tinged with a mixture of resignation and curiosity. His gaze was not just on the approaching city, but on a horizon that promised both an end and a continuation. I was here when Sophie's life took its unexpected turn, but I've felt the call since yesterday, a pull towards something final. His admission hung in the air, a poignant reminder of the uncertain path each of us faced in this spectral existence. I offered my company for this last leg of his journey, a gesture of solidarity in the face of the unknown. Jasper's response, a mixture of gratitude and apprehension, underscored the weight of the moment. Is this our final stage? He pondered, his gaze lost to the horizon of the city that sprawled before us. Or is there something beyond this existence, another realm for our souls to explore? Jasper's beliefs, deeply rooted in the mystic and the metaphysical, had always provided a unique lens through which he viewed our spectral journey. In my studies and travels, he continued, I've encountered countless theories and beliefs about the afterlife. Some speak of a cyclical nature, a continuous loop of life, death, and rebirth. Others talk of ascension, a transcendence to higher planes of existence, where the soul's journey continues in a more enlightened form. His thoughtful demeanor suggested a man who had spent countless hours contemplating the mysteries of the universe, never settling on a single truth, but rather embracing the multitude of possibilities. If we consider the world's myriad spiritual beliefs and occult teachings, we find common threads, themes of transformation, of shedding the physical constraints to achieve a purer, more ethereal form of existence. As Jasper spoke, his words painted a vivid tapestry of potential realities beyond our current understanding. Perhaps what awaits us is not an end, but a transition, a passage to a realm where the constraints of physical existence no longer bind us, a place where the soul's accumulated wisdom and experiences can flourish unencumbered. The possibility of such a journey, of stepping into the unknown with the hope of discovering a new stage of existence, seemed to provide Jasper with a sense of peace, a readiness to embrace whatever lay ahead. This might be our final stage in the sense that we understand it now, but it could also be the threshold to something far greater, an evolution of the soul's journey through the cosmos. His musings, deeply imbued with the philosophical and the mystical, offered not just comfort, but a sense of wonder about the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of our current existence. Jasper's perspective, shaped by a lifetime of inquiry and belief in the unseen, embodied the enduring quest for understanding that defines the human spirit, even in its spectral form. Our arrival at the Port Authority bus station was met with a renewed sense of purpose. Terry swiftly navigated us through the bustling crowds of the living, his leadership a steady hand in the chaos of our arrival. Once we found a quieter corner of the station, the practicalities of our next move came into sharp focus. Jasper's destination, Ward's Island Park, was a name unfamiliar to me, a place seemingly detached from the concrete and steel that framed our current surroundings. His request to travel overland, to take in the world outside one last time, was met with unanimous agreement. There was a sense of finality to his wish, a desire to embrace the tangible reality of the city before stepping into the unknown. Leaving the confines of the bus station, we stepped onto the streets of New York. the city a vibrant tapestry of life and motion. The journey from the Port Authority towards Island Park, though not long by the city standards, felt like a pilgrimage through the heart of a metropolis that had seen countless stories unfold within its bounds. Our path took us through the bustling avenues and crowded sidewalks, the hum of the city a constant backdrop to our silent procession. Jasper led the way, his familiarity with the city guiding us through shortcuts and side streets, each turn revealing a new facet of New York's sprawling landscape. The journey was a sensory overload, the sights and sounds of the city a stark contrast to the quietude of our recent experiences. The towering skyscrapers, the endless stream of taxis and pedestrians, and the kaleidoscope of storefronts and street vendors offered us a fleeting glimpse into the lives of those we passed, a reminder of the world we had left behind. As Ward's Island Park came into view, a sense of peace settled over our group. The park's green expanses and open skies a balm to the soul after the confines of our spectral existence. Jasper's pace slowed as we approached, his steps measured, as if each one carried the weight of the journey that had brought him here. The park, with its views of the East River and the distant city skyline, offered a moment of reflection, a chance to breathe in the world one last time before stepping into the unknown. Jasper's final destination, a place of endings and beginnings, awaited him. The next, maybe last, step of his journey, poised to unfold under the shadow of the Triborough Bridge. Upon our arrival at the park, the sight of an older woman standing alone by a rock, her presence both solitary and expectant, caught our collective gaze. "Do you think that's her?" I asked Jasper, the emotional weight of our entire journey converging on this singular moment. Jasper's response, laden with hope and a tinge of joy, was a whisper of longing. "I hope so. That's my wife." The reunion that followed was nothing short of magical. As Jasper rushed to embrace his wife, the air around them seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly light, a visual echo of their deep connection transcending the physical realm. Their hug, an emblem of reunion and reconciliation, was enveloped by an ethereal glow that seemed to rise from the very earth, symbolizing the enduring power of love and the bonds that persist beyond the veil of mortality. Jasper's parting words to us, a cautionary note laced with his characteristic insight, were his final gift. "Be careful in the subway. It's unpredictable," he called out, his voice carrying over the increasing brilliance of the light that surrounded him and his wife. The glow intensified, compelling us to shield our eyes from its blinding radiance, a physical manifestation of the transition they were undergoing. As the light began to wane, the reality of Jasper's departure settled in. Lowering our hands, we were met with the stark absence of Jasper and his wife, their presence replaced by a lingering warmth in the air, a silent affirmation of their journey's end, and the new beginning that awaited them beyond our comprehension. The spontaneous embrace that followed among those of us left behind was a shared response to the beauty of the moment we had just witnessed. Tears, a mix of joy for Jasper and a poignant sense of loss, were a silent reflection of the impact of his journey on each of us. The emotional resonance of witnessing such a profound transition, of seeing a soul find its peace and perhaps its final destination, was a moment of clarity in the often bewildering journey we, the living and the spectral, traverse together. Jasper's departure, marked by the ethereal glow in his final resonant advice, left an indelible mark on our hearts. It was a reminder of the mysteries that lie in wait, of the paths we have yet to tread, and of the hope that guides us towards our own eventual horizons. As we made our way back towards the heart of New York City, Jasper's final words echoed in our minds, casting a shadow of intrigue and caution over our next steps. The warning, cryptic yet laden with significance, prompted a spontaneous huddle among us, a makeshift council convened under the open sky of Ward's Island Park. Terry, Ever the voice of reason in our spectral ensemble broke the silence with a thoughtful musing. It didn't sound like a "don't go in there" kind of warning, more a "be careful if you have to go in there," he observed, his tone contemplative, his gaze distant. His interpretation of Jasper's cautionary advice opened a new avenue of discussion, steering us away from outright avoidance towards a more nuanced understanding of the risks involved. The subway, a lifeline of the city, teeming with the energy of countless lives in transit, now held a new dimension of unpredictability for us. The very thought of navigating its depths, armed with Jasper's cryptic counsel, instilled a blend of apprehension and determination within the group. The consensus, unspoken yet palpable, was clear. While the subway might present unforeseen challenges, it also represented a necessary passage through the urban labyrinth of New York City. Sophie, her tone straightforward, added, "We'll need to be extra careful then. Jasper's warning was clear. We're stepping into the unpredictable." Her forthright tone underscored her concise caution, reflecting a shared sentiment of cautious progress, rather than outright fear. As we approached the city's bustling core, the group focused on practical measures for safety and cohesion in the unpredictable environment hinted at by Jasper. The subway loomed as a possible challenge, a test of the adaptability and resilience we had honed during our time at the Adler and in facing the misfit threat. Our return to the city, prompted by Jasper's parting caution, signified a shift into a broader, more dynamic phase of our journey. Beyond the safety of the Adler and the closure of Jasper's story lay the unpredictable expanse of New York City, with all its potential for discovery and danger.